nutrition, workouts, fitness, travel, spas.
Wow.
These 5 were our favorite topics. We used to bond on these topics.
Hi Kajal,
Hi
thanks for being
Brinda.
on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here and seeing you after a long time.
I know.
Really long, yeah. So you're on a roll right now, Kajal, with some of the biggest films to your credit in Tamil and Telugu. Surely must be a great feeling to be on the top of the game.
It is a great feeling, but it also makes you very competent. It makes you feel very responsible.
Right.
And you just feel like you have to live up to people's expectations and deliver. And more than that, I think it's a process of reinventing and trying to just do something different for yourself.
Right. So we love the trailer of Brahmotsavam.
Thank you.
Talk about the film. This is the second time that you're pairing up with Mahesh
That's
Babu.
right.
How has the equation evolved with him over the years?
Of course, when you're working with somebody again, it's far more comfortable. You understand each other far better. And Mahesh is killing it.
Yeah.
He's just amazing. He's so focused. Of course, he was like that back then as well. But I just feel he's reinvented. He's doing more challenging roles, doing different sort of roles. And that's working in his favor, big time. And he's looking younger. He's looking his best right now. And he's at the top of his game.
Right.
It's amazing working with somebody who can challenge you as a co-artist.
Right. You earlier said in some of your interviews that with Pawan Kalyan you would talk about quantum physics. So what was the conversation like with Mahesh?
Nutrition, workouts, fitness, travel, spas.
Wow.
These 5 were our favorite topics. We used to bond on these topics. Both of us love these things.
Interesting. So what's your role like in the film, Kajal?
I play this NRI girl named Kasi, and even though she is NRI, she's, usually there's a stereotype attached that just because she comes from abroad, she's going to be this wild, rebellious chick. She's not like that. She is a very grounded girl. She's like any other normal girl who's lived abroad, who studied there, but still has she has this Indianness to her, and she's very rooted, very close to her family. But at the same time, she is a very strong personality. Like, she knows her mind. She has worked very hard all her life. She's studied hard, and she knows her priorities, and she does not feel the need to compromise on her priorities.
Right. So you've said earlier that you could relate to the role. So what are the 3 things that were common between you and the role that you played in the film?
So I could relate to certain aspects of my role. I couldn't relate to everything about her because there are certain things which are different. I could relate to the hard-working part of it. I could relate to the priorities part of it. I could relate to her making up her mind and sticking to her decisions, because once I have made up my mind, that's what it is. But I couldn't relate to this much of practicality. I wish I was this practical, but I'm pretty emotional sometimes. So I couldn't quite relate to the practical aspects of her. I, in fact, felt her practicality was bordering on insensitivity, which was different from how I am in reality, but I'm sure there are many people who will be able to relate to her, and there are many people who are like that.
Right. So when you were narrated the story, was that how you got connected to sign on this project?
When I was narrated the story, I loved the story in totality.
Okay.
I was a bit hesitant about my role, considering the fact that I couldn't fathom how anyone can be so practical about every situation in life. Of course, she does have feelings. It's not like she's a stone-hearted person. But she's different. So I had a few doubts about those things, but my director tackled it so beautifully that he superseded my expectations. And we had a lot of discussions. I exchanged emails. I wrote down points that I was okay with, I was not okay with. And I had in-depth discussions with Mr. Shrikant Adala, and he's lived up and beyond my expectations.
Anything that you could share?
So there's this one scene in the film, the pre-climax, which is the crux of my entire character. And she basically is in a dilemma, and she chooses something which she believes is right for her. She chooses mind over heart. And inherently, I wouldn't do that. Because for me, it's more about the emotional aspect of it. So I couldn't quite relate to that whole thing. And it was quite a challenge for me to perform something that I don't quite believe in. But having said that, that's what acting is all about. And I give a lot of credit to my director in this aspect because he stuck to his guns. He was very convinced, and he convinced me to such an extent where I forgot about my own feelings. I was like, okay, leave all that aside. I have to focus on this, and this is how she is. So let's just do it. And it's nice because it made me give a fresher performance and something different from what I've been doing.
So this is the first time that you have teamed up with Srikanth Addala. One thing that fascinated you about him, Mahesh Babu in his earlier interview said that the thing that he's so grounded, probably he doesn't even own a car. So that's what he likes about him. What about him do you like?
His lifestyle, I agree with Mahesh, his lifestyle is simple and I like that about him, but his mind is very evolved. It's not like he's mentally a simple person. He is very, very evolved. He's very mature. He has an amazing sense of understanding. That's why he makes such intelligent cinema. So, simple lifestyle, evolved thinking, fabulous combination. Great director to work with.
Right. So this, I think in a long time that you have done a family drama. So did the positivity of acting in a film like this rub onto your personality?
I've been doing a lot of family dramas. My Govindadu Gandhari Varle was a family film. So in fact, most of my films are family films. It's just that in this film, my role in the family, I am very connected to the family, but my role is different. My personality is different. So well, yes, I did gain a lot of strength from Kasi, even in reality, and vice versa. I added a bit of my emotions to her, threw it upon her as well, secretly. But yeah, personally I feel I have become a more mature individual. Yeah.
So you bonded a lot with your co-stars. Who's your I'm sure everybody you connected with, but who's your favorite on the sets?
Quite a few people. Can't name just one. Satyaraj sir. He was my breakfast buddy. Every morning we would wake up in Ooty and eat breakfast together for sure. Revati ma'am was my dinner pal. I'd do dinner with her every night, dinner dates with Revati ma'am.
Right.
Jayasudha ma'am did not come to Ooty, but I bonded with her a lot in Hyderabad and we worked together, so we already have that connection going.
Right.
And Thota Tharani sir, our art director, bonded with him quite a bit. So I bonded with these very learned, experienced people, and I feel that was just so enriching.
Right. So did you have quite a lot of scenes with Revati Garu in the film?
We had a lot of combination scenes, not a one-on-one, but we had a lot of combination scenes where both of us were there in the same scene together. And just interacting with her, listening to her stories was amazing.
Right. We saw you clicking pictures at the audio launch, selfies rather. So did she give you any lessons, or what were your conversations like with her?
She spoke a lot about what she's done and her experiences from her past films and what she feels. We spoke a lot about the world and society at general. We had a lot of basic conversations. We had a lot of philosophical conversations. So it was really nice.
Right.